The air inside Madison Square Garden crackled with raw energy, a pulsating wave of anticipation that seemed to hum through the concrete and steel of the iconic arena. Thousands of fans packed the seats, their voices a deafening roar, waving flags and clutching signs, their eyes fixed on the brightly lit ring at the center of it all. The lights dimmed, casting dramatic beams that sliced through the haze, illuminating to figures whose destinies were about to collide. In one corner stood Edgar Berlanga, the Brooklyn-born knockout artist, his undefeated record of 19-0 gleaming like a badge of invincibility. His eyes burned with a quiet fury, his Puerto Rican heritage a source of pride as the crowd chanted his name, their voices a tidal wave of support. Across the ring, Alexis Angulo, the battle-hardened veteran from Colombia, stood with the calm of a man who'd seen war and walked away. His 26-2 record spoke of resilience, of nights spent trading blows with the best. And his scars told stories no scorecard could capture. This wasn't just a fight. It was a crucible, a moment where legacies could be forged or broken in the span of a single punch. The announcer's voice boomed, introducing the combatants with a cadence that sent shivers through the crowd, and as the bell rang, the world outside the ropes vanished. Round 1 exploded into life, a clash of wills as immediate as it was ferocious. Berlanga, known for his devastating first-round knockouts, moved like a predator, his jab snapping out with surgical precision. The first landed clean, catching Angulo on the chin, drawing a collective gasp from the crowd. But Angulo, with the instincts of a survivor, slipped the follow-up right hand and fired back with a short, stinging hook to Berlanga's ribs. The exchange was a declaration. Neither man would yield easily. Berlanga's footwork was a study in controlled aggression, his body weaving as he circled, his eyes locked on Angulo's every move. The Colombian, stocky and compact, kept his guard high, absorbing the early pressure with a veteran's poise. His counters were deliberate, each punch a reminder that experience could match power. The round ended with a flurry, Berlanga landing a glancing uppercut as Angulo threw a looping overhand right that missed by a hair. The crowd buzzed, their excitement a living thing. As the fighters returned to their corners, each man sizing up the challenge ahead. In the second round, Berlanga's corner was a hive of urgency. "Let your hands go, kid. Break him down," his trainer barked, slapping the mat for emphasis. Berlanga nodded, his face a mask of focus, and came out firing. A cross hook backed Angulo toward the ropes, the right cross landing with a thud that echoed through the arena. Angulo's head snapped back, but his legs held firm, a testament to his durability. The veteran clinched, his arms wrapping around Berlanga to slow the onslaught, his breath heavy as he whispered something, perhaps a taunt, perhaps respect. The referee pried them apart, and Angulo seized the moment, driving a sharp body shot into Berlanga's midsection, forcing a grunt from the younger fighter. Berlanga retaliated with a vicious hook to Angulo's temple, the impact reverberating through the crowd. The bell rang, and the fighters exchanged a glance, a silent acknowledgement of the war they'd begun. The third round saw the fight settle into a brutal rhythm, a dance of destruction that held the crowd in its grip. Berlanga's power was undeniable, his punches carrying a weight that seemed to ripple the air. A straight right hand caught Angulo above the left eye, splitting the skin and sending a trickle of blood down his cheek. The sight of crimson only fueled Berlanga's hunger, but Angulo's expression remained unchanged, his focus a steel wall. He answered with a combination of his own, a left hook to the body followed by a right that grazed Berlanga's jaw. The crowd roared, their cheers a mix of awe and disbelief at the veteran's heart. Berlanga, sensing the need to impose his will, unleashed a late flurry, pinning Angulo against the ropes with a barrage of hooks and uppercuts. The bell saved the Colombian, but the message was clear. Berlanga was a force, and he was coming. Round 4 was where Angulo's experience began to shine. He pressed forward, his head low, his fists working like pistons. A series of body shots landed, each one a calculated strike to sap Berlanga's energy. The younger fighter winced, his breathing heavier, but he countered with an uppercut that snapped Angulo's head back. The crack of glove on chin audible even over the crowd's roar. The exchange drew a standing ovation, the fans feeding off the raw intensity of the moment. Berlanga's speed was his edge, his hands moving in a blur as he weaved and struck. But Angulo's durability was a puzzle he couldn't quite solve. A late combination from Berlanga rocked Angulo, the veteran's knees buckling for a split second, but he stayed upright, his defiance a challenge that hung in the air. "You'll have to do more than that." The fifth round marked a shift, the fight teetering on the edge of chaos. BERLANGA, frustrated by Angulo's refusal to fall, began to load up on his punches, each one thrown with the intent to end the night. A thunderous right hand landed flush on Angulo's chin, sending him stumbling into the ropes, his arms flailing for balance. The crowd surged to its feet, their screams a wall of sound, sensing the knockout that had defined BERLANGA's career. He swarmed, his fists a relentless storm, hooks and crosses raining down with terrifying precision. But Angulo, with a heart forged in countless battles, weathered the assault, clinching and leaning into BERLANGA to buy precious seconds. The referee hovered, his eyes sharp, but Angulo's resilience held. In a desperate counter, Angulo landed a short hook that caught BERLANGA off guard, earning a moment's reprieve. The bell rang, and both men staggered to their corners, their faces etched with the toll of the fight. In the sixth, Angulo's corner was a scene of urgency. Box smart, ALEXIS. Use the jab. Stay off the ropes, his trainer pleaded, wiping blood from the cut above his eye. Angulo nodded, his chest heaving, his face a crimson mask. BERLANGA, meanwhile, was calm, his confidence unshaken. He's slowing down, his trainer said, adjusting his gloves. Break him now. The round began with BERLANGA stalking, his jab a relentless probe that kept Angulo on the defensive. The Colombian's punches lacked their earlier snap, his movements sluggish, but his heart refused to yield. A vicious left hook from BERLANGA caught Angulo flush, his knees buckling for a moment, the crowd screaming for the finish. Yet Angulo fired back, a weak but defiant shot that drew a nod from BERLANGA. The younger fighter's dominance was growing, his combinations flowing with a rhythm that bordered on artistry, each punch a brushstroke on a canvas of violence. The seventh round was a masterclass in pressure, BERLANGA turning the ring into a crucible. A double jab set up a crushing right cross that sent Angulo reeling, his guard faltering under the onslaught. The crowd was on its feet, the noise deafening. As BERLANGA unleashed a six-punch flurry that had the referee inching closer, Angulo's eyes glazed, his body sagging, but his spirit refused to break. He swung back, his punches wild but defiant, each one a testament to his will. A brutal uppercut from BERLANGA snapped Angulo's head back, and for a moment it seemed the fight would end. But the veteran clung to BERLANGA, his arms a lifeline, surviving until the bell. The crowd applauded both men, their respect earned through blood and sweat. The arena, a cathedral of combat. As the eighth round began, the energy in the garden was electric, every fan sensing the fight's climax. BERLANGA's corner smelled blood, urging him to close the show. Angulo, battered but unbowed, came out swinging, landing a surprising left hook that caught BERLANGA flush on the jaw. The younger fighter smiled a nod to his opponent's courage, before unleashing a counterattack that drove Angulo back. The exchanges were fierce, each man pouring his soul into every punch. BERLANGA's power began to overwhelm, his shots landing with sickening thuds that reverberated through the arena. A late combination had Angulo sagging against the ropes, his legs betraying him, but the bell rang before BERLANGA could land the decisive blow. The ninth round was a testament to Angulo's heart, his face swollen, his eyes nearly shut, yet he refused to quit. BERLANGA targeted the body, each shot a hammer blow meant to break his opponent's will. Angulo grunted with every hit, his breathing labored, but he kept coming, his punches slower but still carrying sting. A right hand from BERLANGA opened another cut, this one above Angulo's right eye, blood streaming down his face like war paint. The referee checked the damage, but Angulo waved him off, his pride a fire that refused to be extinguished. The round ended with BERLANGA landing a crushing hook, Angulo swaying but standing tall, his defiance a beacon in the storm. The 10th and final round was a spectacle, the crowd on its feet, honoring the warriors who'd given everything. BERLANGA, determined to end with a statement, came out blazing. A left hook staggered Angulo, followed by a right that sent him to a knee. The referee began the count, the arena holding its breath, but Angulo rose at 8, his eyes burning with defiance. BERLANGA swarmed, his fists a blur, hooks and uppercuts raining down with devastating force. Angulo fought back, landing a desperate shot that drew a cheer, his heart refusing to surrender. In the final minute, a massive right hand from BERLANGA dropped Angulo again, and this time the referee waved it off, the crowd erupting in a mix of awe and relief. The arena shook as BERLANGA raised his glove, his face a blend of exhaustion and triumph. He moved to 20-0, his knockout streak intact, though tested like never before. Angulo helped to his corner, nodded in respect, his effort earning the admiration of every soul in the building. The announcer's voice cut through the noise, declaring BERLANGA the winner by knockout. but the story was bigger than the result. It was about two men who'd bared their souls, their hearts laid bare in a ring that demanded everything. In the post-fight interview, Berlanga's voice was hoarse, his respect for Angulo clear. "He's a warrior," he said, sweat dripping from his brow. "I knew he'd make me earn it, and he made me better tonight." Angulo, his face a swollen mask, spoke through a translator, his words simple but profound. "I fought with my heart. Berlanga's the future, but I gave him a fight he'll remember forever." The replays flashed on the arena screens, slow-motion shots capturing the brutality and beauty of the night. Berlanga's right hand landing like a thunderbolt, and hook snapping Berlanga's head back, the moments of courage and carnage that defined the fight. Analysts would dissect it for weeks. Berlanga's power, Angulo's resilience, the questions about what came next. Was Berlanga ready for a title shot? Could Angulo at 38 still compete at this level? The answers would come, but for now, the fight stood as a monument to boxing's essence, heart, will, and the unyielding pursuit of glory. As the arena emptied, the ring stood silent, its canvas stained with the story of two men who dared to dream. Berlanga walked into the night, his star brighter than ever. Angulo left with his head high, his legacy secure. Madison Square Garden had witnessed another chapter in boxing's endless saga, a night where legends were forged, and the echoes of their battle would linger long after the lights went out.